Good evening, students. Yeah, good evening, Mr. Ram, Ms. Kushi, Mr. Lokesh, Mr. Navneet. Good evening, everyone. So today we will be discussing on the topic of input tax credit. Okay, we know input tax credit majorly. So what we can do is go through the ITC chapters in terms of any queries if you have, or any specific points which you have not understood under ITC, so that we can cover that up. And then we can take up some questions on how to solve the questions on ITC, because definitely we will get some question on ITC, right? Because it's a major topic. So we can take up some questions and try to answer them. Okay. So please be open and tell me if there's any topics which you have not understood under ITC. So we'll take that up and then the question so that it will cover up everything, right? Because this is revisionary classes, we'll do a revision definitely of the important topics. But if I start getting into the presentation completely, then it will take a lot of time, right? So we'll do one thing, we'll take up your questions. After your questions, we'll brush up through the chapter. Once we do the brush up quickly, then we'll go and solve some questions. Reversal of ITC on capital goods about pro rata basis. Okay, that is rule 43. Good. Whether rule 43 is applicable itself to us or no, that I will check first. Because rule 43, as I had seen, yeah, it is not covered under your syllabus. Let me take and see what are the exclusions are there. Then it will be easier for you. Yeah. Any more questions? Yes, sir. ओके ओके मैं एक काम करता हूँ स्टॉप शेयर करता हूँ हाँ हाँ ठीक है शेयर ओनली कंटेंट स्क्रीन शेयरिंग है ठीक है वो भी Yeah. Any more doubts? नहीं नहीं, शेयर। ठीक है। ठीक। हाँ, ऑप्टिमाइज फॉर वीडियो शेयरिंग। क्लिक करूँ वो? नहीं किया है। ओके। ठीक है। हाँ, वो ना, वो भी ऑटोमेटिकली हो गया, उसको भी क्लिक किया है। ठीक है। ठीक है। करेक्ट। ओके, ठीक है। ठीक है, मैं वो बंद कर देता हूँ, फिर ओपन करता हूँ। Okay. So the first question is in respect of ITC reversal for capital goods. See this, your study material itself says that provisions of ITC relating to job work and input service distributor. Okay. That is section 19, 20 and 21, and provisions relating to ITC claimed by banking companies, distribution of ITC by ISD, determination of IETC on inputs, input services, and capital goods, and reversal thereof will be discussed at the final level. So, this reversal of ITC on capital goods is not there in your present syllabus. Fine, Ram. Sir, for reference, bricks, mold supplied as scrap tax. Okay, that's covered. I have a doubt in invoicing furnishing facility. Can you explain IFF? Sure. So IFF, Lokesh, is a optional thing wherein if you are opting for quarterly filing, okay, you're filing for quarterly returns and monthly payment scheme. So in that case, what you have to do is you have to file your returns on a quarterly basis. So I will file my GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B on a quarterly basis. So once I file it on a quarterly basis, my customer, if he is a registered person, he will want to get the credit. So I have supplied the goods, say, in the month of November. So he should ideally get the credit by in his December's return, in his November's GSTR 2B, but he will not get it because I'm a quarterly filer. So I will not file any return in the month of November. So he will have to wait for him to get the credit in January month. Instead of getting it in the return of November, I will file it in a quarterly basis. That will be December, right? The quarter for October, November, December is December. So I will file it in December and he will get the credit in the January return, December's return, which he will file in January. So can he wait? He cannot wait. He says that I have purchased from you, I have made the payment to you, so I need the credit. No, if you are a quarterly filer, I can't help. I want the credit today. So for that reason, they have brought this IFF, invoice furnishing facility, wherein they say that for such customers who wants the credit immediately, you can file this IFF, mention the invoice number and mention the customer's details and the goods what you have sold, what is the HSN, invoice number and everything. Once you mention that, then he will get the credit in the November's month GSTR 2B itself. So what happens by that? He will get the credit on the actual basis. But for you have to do this invoice furnishing facility for such customers saying that they want the credit immediately. So you are furnishing these details immediately. Okay. That is the main reason for invoice furnishing facility. What if anyone opted for QRNP but never filed IFF? No problem. If they have not filed IFF, it's not a compulsory thing. It's a optional thing, Navneet. So once you are willing to give the credit to your customer on a monthly basis, then you can give it. Otherwise, you can do it on a quarterly basis, no problem. Clear, right? Okay. So now let's get into the presentation and understand the important aspects of ITC. Okay. So basics of ITC, we know that on the sale minus input tax credit, whatever is there, you will get the credit. Now, output minus input is your tax payable. Your input will be tax on purchases, tax on expenses, and your tax on any capital goods. When I say tax on machine on capital goods, we get the credit of everything. Balance is your GST payable. If your credit is more than your output, that is called as ITC credit carried forward. Then whatever is the tax paid on these purchases is offset against output. That is the main reason why ITC is claimed. So you don't need this. This is also fine. Now, features of ITC also, it's a theoretical thing. We know these things. Hmm. This is important that when you claim the input tax credit, you have to claim the credit with the intention that you will pay something to the government. That is, when you use it for business purposes and if you use for taxable supplies. If you're doing this two things, that is, you're using it for business purposes and you're using it for taxable supplies, only then the credit is claimable. Otherwise, the credit is not claimable. That is first thing, that is when you use the input and input services for business purposes and for taxable supplies, only then the credit is available. For non-business purposes and for non-taxable supplies, credit is not available. And if you're using it for common purposes, you can use it for business and non-business. Like you bought a office for rent and half of it you're using for business, half of it you're using for residential purposes, right? The landlord will charge you GST because it's a commercial premises, but you're using it partially for office, partially for residential. So that portion which you're using for residential portion, you should not claim it. That is where the basis will be that on the basis of ratio of turnover attributable to common credits, you will, whatever is for non-business purposes, you will exclude it. And for business purpose, only that you will claim it. So in case only Okay, Gayatri's doubt is in case of IFF. In case only filed IFS and non-filed GST 3B, then the ITC avail should be reversed, right, sir? No. If you only filed IFF and not filed GSTR 3B, that situation will not arise because your filed IFF means it is equivalent to giving the credit and you have to file GSTR 3B. If you do not file your GSTR 3B, then it will not permit you to proceed further for the next month's GST IFF. So your IFF will be blocked because once you file your GSTR 3B, only then the IFF gets activated. So you have to compulsorily file GSTR 3B. Because in IFF, you are not availing the ITC. You are only giving the credit to your customer. To avail the ITC, so at least you have to file GSTR 3B, no? Okay, ITC we understood. Next is definitions. Definitions under GST, we are all aware of that input tax credit means not only credit what we get in GSTR 2B, but also other things. That is IGST, which is charged on import of goods, taxes which we pay under reverse charge. All of that also is our credit. Fine. So everything is a credit, not only the credit which is appearing in GSTR 2B. GSTR 2B is for local purchases. When you're buying from a person who is within the same state, then it is the credit which is appearing. But apart from that, credit may appear not in 2B, still you can claim the credit. Like import of goods, GST paid on reverse charge mechanism, all of that is also your input tax credit. Yeah. Main input tax credit section 16, which says that to claim credit, you have to be a registered person. If you are unregistered person, you cannot claim the credit. So the first criteria to claim the credit is you should be a registered person. If you are registered, you can claim the credit. If you are not registered, you cannot claim the credit. So first be registered. That's the reason registration is very important that you register under the GST, then you can claim the credit. Okay. What are the conditions? 16 subsection 2 says there are 6 conditions to claim the credit. That is, first is you should be in possession of this tax paying document. The invoice, the debit note, or the bill of entry that should be under your control. You should have that document. Second condition is invoice should be uploaded and appear in your GSTR 2B. Okay. Then third condition is you should have actually received the goods or services. Fourth condition is ITC should not be restricted. The ITC, what is appearing in GSTR 2B should be your credit. It should not be a restricted credit. How will it you know whether it's restricted or not restricted? In your GSTR 2B itself, you have 2 columns. One shows that credit is restricted and other shows credit is not restricted. Okay. So what is restricted? That you should not claim it at all. Then tax levied on supply is actually paid to the government and you should claim your credit by lodging it or by filing the GSTR 3B. Once you file your 3B, only then you can claim the credit. All the other conditions are satisfied. You have not filed your GSTR 3B, like how Gayatri was asking that can I reverse the credit? First, you have to avail the credit to reverse it. How are you availing? You are availing it by filing in your GSTR 3B itself. Yeah, this we know position of the tax paying documents. Mm, Details of the invoice are uploaded by the supplier in his GSTR1 and communicated. So that is how I'm saying that IFF is equivalent to GSTR1. So a normal monthly taxpayer, he will file his GSTR1 and the quarterly taxpayer can file the IFF. So that what work GSTR1 does, GSTR1 says that, okay, this is my sales and based on GSTR1, receiver gets the credit. Similarly, IFF also, IFF once you upload, the receiver will get the credit based on the information uploaded in IFF, right? Full ITC can be claimed when it is appearing in GSTR2B. If it is not appearing, you cannot claim it. Then 16(2)(a) says that the details of invoice referred to in clause A has been furnished by the supplier in the stated. That is same GSTR1. How do you claim it? See, this is your total ITC. You have to break it into that which is appearing in your GSTR2B. So when it is appearing in GSTR2B, it means they have complied with section 16(2)(a). The condition says that the supplier has to upload it in his GSTR1. So once this is uploaded, it is complied. Say to the extent of 70 out of 100, what is the credit which you have? 70 is appearing in your GSTR2B, you will claim it. And to the extent of 20, which is not appearing, you're not claiming it. And 110 rupees. So 670 plus 20 makes it 90. Total credit, you have to claim 100. But 70% is complied, 20 is not complied, so you can't claim this. But this you can claim it once that person, once your vendor uploads it. So you will go back to your vendor saying that I have purchased from you, but your credit is not appearing in my GSTR2B. Do something. So he will file a return, then it will appear it. So maybe he has mistaken it, he's mentioned the wrong GST number or whatever reasons. Once he mentions the correct thing, then you can claim the credit. And then ineligible ITC. That is, we had said no, that there can be credit which is eligible and which is not eligible. Now, this credit which is ineligible, you cannot claim it anytime. Even if it is appearing in your GSTR 2B, if it appears under the ineligible credit, you cannot claim it. Okay, some examples. I think we'll be taking the questions, so we'll cover this up there. Actual receipt of goods. You should have actually received the goods in case of bill to ship to transactions, when the supplier is billing it to Maruti traders but shipping it to Tamil Nadu, who will gain the credit? We have said that who has the person who has actually received the goods, he will claim it. But in bill to ship to transactions, he is delivering the goods to this prime hardwares on whose behalf, on the instruction of Maruti traders, right? So once Ganesh traders supplies to prime hardwares, it is deemed that Maruti traders is the receiver. That's the reason the place of supply also is Maruti traders, and he himself is deemed to be the receiver of the goods. Billed person will claim it. To whom it is billed, correct. To whom the goods have been billed, he will claim it. Right, Navneet? Yeah. So here I've said, right, like how at the theoretically said, goods are deemed to be received by Maruti traders only. Goods are deemed to be received by Maruti traders. Only in case of bill to ship to, this is the exceptional thing. In all other cases, the person who wants to claim the credit, he should have received the goods. Then the fourth condition is ITC is not available on inward supplies which has not been furnished by the registered person. That is ineligible. The criteria when it becomes eligible are these. That is, when the supplier is a new registrant who is defaulted in payment of tax, he is reported in IFF or GSTR1 more than what is there in GSTR3B. He has availed ITC more than what he should have availed. 2B में तो 100 rupees है, he's claimed 150 rupees, right? How can he claim more? Because he's 3B is editable. The credit what we claim in GSTR 3B, you can edit the values. So even if in 2B it is 100, can I claim 150? Yes, you can claim. But the system throws an error. So such people who are claiming more credit, what is there in GSTR 2B, they will be barred. Or any purchases you make from such persons will be shown under ineligible credit. Then the fifth condition is who has defaulted in discharging in tax liability in violation of Rule 88B, 86B. We will see what is that 86B here, and any other class of persons which the government specified. From them, if you purchase, then your credit will be block credit. It will not be block credit, it will be restricted credit. Then tax leviable and supply is actually paid to the government. The fifth condition is the supplier, he is filing his GSTR1, good. It will appear in your GSTR2B, correct. But if that person is only filing GSTR1 and is not paying taxes in GSTR3B, then there's a problem, right? Because the government on the one side is giving you the credit with the assurance that supplier will pay the taxes to the government. But what if he doesn't pay? Then you are getting the credit simply. The government says, okay, we'll give you the credit because we are following the supply chain. That supplier has paid the tax, so receiver will get the credit. The supplier has not paid the tax, so it's a loss to the government. That supplier has not paid the tax, but you are the getting the credit simply. Correct. So that's why government is there said that this condition will bring in. He is uploaded in GSTR1 fine 16 to AA condition is satisfied. Very good. But this 16(2)(c) condition says that he should pay the taxes to the government. How will he pay taxes to the government? Through filing GSTR 3B. So whether he's filed the 3B, you can also see that in the GSTR 2B, there is a column which says that whether the supplier has paid the taxes or no, whether he's filed the 3B or no. So you don't have to check this every month because already you have to check GSTR 2B. Now, again, if you have to check whether the supplier has filed or no, you don't have to check it on a monthly basis. The government has given you time till September. So 24, 25, whatever credits you have claimed, you can check in the two periods. One is for the month of March, whether all the months credit, whether the GST returns of all the months has been filed by all the suppliers. And again, you check it in September, whether all the returns for April to March has been filed. If it is not filed, then you have to reverse the credit. So you can you have two checks, one by April, that is March return, which is filed by April, and September's return, which will be filed. There also you can check. So they have two timelines to check whether the supplier has filed the GSTR 3B or no. So if he's filed it, good, your credit is assured. But if he's not filed it, then your credit has to be reversed. So how will we do this? We will avail the credit, then we will reverse the credit. Why will we reverse? Because supplier has not filed his GSTR 3B. But when you go and talk to the customer, he says, okay, I'll file it next month. Then once he files it, then you can re-avail it. What will happen if I've availed it and I've reversed the credit, but supplier has not filed the return at all and he's closed down the business? Then you cannot re-avail. The supplier has to avail, pay the tax, and you will reverse it. But if he's not filed the return, then you cannot re-avail it. For re-availing, the supplier has to file the return even later so that your credit is secure. Then reversal of ITC in case of non-payment. If he's not paid it, you cannot claim it. That is the same thing what I said. Claim, reverse, and reclaim. Then sixth condition is filing of return by the person claiming the credit. So if I have to claim the credit, I have to lodge it, right? I have to file the credit. I will file it in GSTR 3B. Only then I will get the credit. ITC on capital goods, can I claim? Yes, I can claim it. But on the depreciation portion also, if I claim it, then I cannot claim depreciation. I cannot claim depreciation under Income Tax Act. If I've claimed depreciation on that asset under Income Tax Act, right, then I cannot claim the ITC. So you'll not get dual benefit under both the laws. You'll say, okay, I will claim depreciation also, and on the depreciated value, I will claim the ITC also. Is it possible? Not possible. So for the benefit of others who have not understood what I'm saying, I'll give you an example. You have bought capital goods. What capital goods? You have bought a machinery. Okay. Now, for your purchase value of the machinery is 10 lakh rupees. Okay. Supplier will charge GST on this. So GST is say 18%. Makes it as 1,80,000. So your total purchase value is 11,80,000. Okay. Now, option one is claim ITC. How much will the ITC you will claim if it is option one, and how much is the depreciation you will claim? I mean, depreciation on what value? And option two, same things. If you're not opting for this, then if you're opting for option two, then how much ITC will claim and how much is the depreciation? Mr. Nagaraj, 25%. I'm not asking percentage. I'm asking the base. Mr. Siddh Sangani is saying ITC of 1,80,000. Okay. So 1,80,000 is there. You are claiming 1,80,000. Very good. Permitted. You're right. So when you claim 1,80,000, depreciation will be on what value? Will it be on 11,80,000? Right. Khushi, very good. Very nice answer. Giving a yes, Ram, your answer also is right. Lokesh, your answer also is right. That when I've claimed 1,80,000 as the ITC, that is a tax, right? I've claimed the input tax credit on this. Then I can claim depreciation on 10 lakhs value. Okay. Option two is yes, Ram, ITC, I will not claim anything. So then what will happen in this 1,80,000? That I will claim depreciation. So my depreciation in this option two will be on 11,80,000. Okay, so these are the two options what you have. No depreciation, no, not possible because income tax doesn't have that option of no depreciation. If you don't claim depreciation, you will not get any other benefit under GST. Say, claim ITC 1,80,000, depreciation if you claim zero, that's up to you. Clear, people? Good. Then next is the time limit to claim the credit. By what time we can claim the credit? By the 30th November following the end of the financial year to which such invoice pertains or to the date of furnishing annual return, whichever is earlier. So credit can be claimed in that month itself. If you miss to claim it, you get a time to claim it up till 30th November. So we are in 26th November. So for 24, 25, if anybody has missed any credit, we can claim it till the 30th November. Okay, portal view might not be relevant here because we are aware of how to claim the credit. Next is block credit. We know what is block credit, right? That credit which cannot be claimed is a block credit. But I've used for business. Can I claim it then? No. Still, if it is used for business also, you cannot claim the credit. What are these block credits? Purchase of vehicle, planes, and ships. Whatever you purchase, you cannot claim it. Then these items, food and beverages, outdoor catering, beauty treatment, healthcare services, cosmetic and plastic surgery, life insurance and insurance, you cannot claim it. Unless if it is statutorily obligated, then you can claim the life insurance. Otherwise, that also is not available. Then membership of a club, health, fitness, gym jate hai log. They pay a lot of subscription and they go to the gym. But after 10 days, 5 days, people stop going. Okay, that's the general trend. But from a GST perspective, if the company is paying the healthcare fees, okay, company is paying the healthcare fees to the gym on behalf of employees, can they claim the credit? If they be healthy, then they will take less leave. So it is for business purposes, is the justification of the company. Can they now claim it? Nagaraj is saying no, you cannot claim it. What about others? हेल्दी बनेगा तभी तो ऑफिस आएगा, बिना हेल्दी ऑफिस कैसे आएगा? So that is my justification. So if I send it to his gym sir, then he will be more healthy and he will come to the office regularly, so I'm claiming the credit. Still not justified, huh? I'm giving you justification, no? But it is not in the course of their business, means employer employee relationship. Yes, so employer employee relationship only. It is not in the course of the business, correct? So I cannot claim the credit. Even if it's an employer-employee relationship, Nagaraj, still I cannot claim the credit. Whether I give a justification that once they go to the gym, their health is improving, that's why I'm sending whatever justification. Once the credit is blocked, it is blocked. You cannot claim. Then travel benefits, which is extended to employees, that is also a block credit unless it's a statutory obligation. Like if somebody is working in a remote place, right, where they have to go stay away from their family. For them, if you're giving travel benefits, you're giving vacations, that's a statutory requirement. That is, the law is saying you have to compulsorily give them. Other companies give it as an optional thing. They are not statutorily required. For them, credit will not be available. But when it is statutory required that you are sending employees to such persons, and there is a labor law which says that you have to give them this leave travel allowance, then this credit will be available. Otherwise, it is not available. Similarly, works contracts, we have discussed this in detail. Works contract services for construction of your own movable property. If you're buying anything, taking labor services, getting a works contractor, credit is not available because construction में बहुत सारा credit होता है. So government has said no credit on this, directly or indirectly also. So indirectly means that when you use anything, okay, inward supplies, where is that called? Construction of immovable property on your own account, if you're buying something, still credit will not be available. Then the next is inward supplies charged to tax under composition levy. Composition levy वाले से आप खरीदते हो, credit नहीं मिलेगा. Inward supply received from a non-resident taxable person. GST used for any goods or services you're buying and using it for personal consumption, credit is still not available. Then the lost stolen goods, credit is not available. And tax paid in fraud cases also, credit is not available. Fine. So this is the important aspect on GST, credits, and the conditions for claiming the credit. Own account means, so if you're doing construction for yourself from, that is called as own account. But if you're doing construction for somebody else, when will you do it? When you're a contractor, you're doing for others, right? And you're getting remuneration, which means it's your business. Then you will claim the credit because you're into the business of construction, then the credit is available. If you're doing it for your own business, then credit is not available. Okay, can we go to the question and answer straight away? Are any more queries are there? Okay, if there are no questions, then we can straight away go to question and answers. Import of supply, no ITC. Import of supply, ITC is there. And supply of services also, we pay the reverse charge and credit is available. So tax filed CA to his wife, IT return file ITC claiming. I didn't understand. So what I kind understand is tax filed by a CA for his wife's IT return. Okay. So what ITC is available, whether somebody is charging GST. If somebody is not charging GST, then there is no question of ITC. ITC means input tax credit. Which tax? GST tax. If somebody charging GST, then only the question of ITC comes in Nagraj. If nobody charge GST, then there's no question of ITC at all. So we'll take up the questions. Read through the question and try to answer. Then I'll give my answer. Is the question visible? Yeah. Tell the answer for this first question. 4 lakh taxable CGST and SGST. Interstate supply of taxable goods, including 1 lakh received an advance in January. The invoice for the entire sale value is issued on 15th February. And we are provided the details for the month of February. The question asks us to compute the minimum GST payable for the month of February only. Okay. So 4 lakh is fully taxable. Okay. Others? Oh, call and pay this to them. Call them and give it to them. Yeah, so but network wrong. They will come and pick it. Okay, Gayatri is saying invoice received on 15th February. Invoice is not received, invoice is issued. Okay. He has made intrastate supply. So he is supplied and he's received in January and invoice raised in February. Nagaraja is saying first is taxable. Lokesh is saying 4 lakh ITC is available. Where is the question of ITC, Lokesh? On when you make supply, you have to pay tax or you will claim, you will get credit when you supply. Others, come on, you have to move ahead. So first clarify whether ITC is available or no. We have to pay, correct? So then why question of ITC is coming in point number one? So there's no ITC in question number one. You have to pay GST. Now the question is, will you pay GST on 1 lakh or 4 lakhs? Or the balance of 3 lakhs? Okay. So purchase from composition, no ITC. Okay. First point is you will pay GST on 4 lakh rupees because even though you have received advance, GST is not payable on advance for goods. So GST is payable on the invoice. We have raised invoice for 4 lakh rupees. So we will pay GST on the 4 lakh rupees. Second, purchase of goods from a composition dealer, no credit. Third point, third one, it is block credit. Services by way of labor contractor for repairing a single residential unit, otherwise than as a part of a residential complex. It is an intrastate transaction. So you're saying fourth, third one is a block credit. Okay. Fourth one, fine. Next on membership of a club, no ITC on the fourth one. Correct. So fourth one, no ITC. Yeah, very good. Fifth one, GTA has paid 12%. ITC will be available. Good, Kushi. Yes, it's available. Very nice. Sixth point. Should he pay GST on this 10,000 rupees? Sixth one, he is making interstate supply. He is not availing. So, Lokesh, this is a question which is a question which is like a consolidated question. Some supplies has been made, some input tax rate has been availed. So they have mixed everything. So you have to bifurcate what is outward supply and what is inward supply. So where you have availed the services, there will be ITC. And this is the outward supply, so there is no ITC. Training in sports is exempt supply, nil GST is what Kushi is saying. Others, fifth one, FCM, no. He's received Nagraja goods transport services received from a GTA, and GTA has exercised the option to pay tax. So there is no question of FCM because yes, he is opted under FCM. So can you claim the credit? Okay. So you have used your most thing. Sixth one, pay tax. Okay. No ITC, pay tax. Seventh one will see. And then if you're providing services to school, security services, is it taxable or exempt? Okay, so you have to analyze this and start working also because if you keep analyzing like this in the exam, then by the time you work out, you'll lose a lot of time. You should start working out. Okay, so these are the facts. The company has a following ITC at the beginning of the tax period and rates of tax is this. So first we have to compute what is the GST payable on outward supply. They have combined everything, but we cannot make a combination. So we should have separate tables. One is for the GST, which is payable on the outward supply, and what is the ITC we will claim. So these two bifurcations we will have to do. So first is computation of GST payable on outward supplies. First is intrastate supply of taxable goods, right? So there is a taxable supply of 4 lakhs. So we will consider this 4 lakh first. Intrastate supply of goods for GST at 4 lakhs. Then if you have any comments, you give it as a note. Note 1 is what I've given. Table, then the notes separately. Give reference to notes so that anybody, the examiner will be able to understand. A registered person, including composite supplier, has to pay GST on outward supply of goods at the time of supply as specified in section 12. If you do not mention the section, that is still fine, but mention the provisions, what you can tell in your own words, saying that a registered person has to pay GST on the outward supplies at the time of supply. In case of goods, it is date of issue of invoice or the last day on which invoice ought to be issued. Thus, liability to pay tax on the advance received will also arise in the month of January when the invoice is issued, right? So on 4 lakhs, it is a intra-state supply. On intra-state supply, we will pay CGST and SGST, correct? So on 4 lakh, 9%, 9% each. Fine. Next, we'll go on this point. Purchase of goods from a composition dealer. So it will come under, it's a purchase. So we'll have a different column for input tax credit. Okay. So there we'll first mention the opening ITC, because in the question they've given how much is the ITC he has. He has 50,000 of CGST and 57,000 of CGST and 50,000 of IGST. Okay. So that is appearing here. Then we said that second point you are taking purchase of goods from composition supply. On this, will we have any credit? Everybody has said that no credit, but we have to mention an explanation. ITC is not available in case of supply of goods where tax has been paid under composition scheme. So no ITC in this case. Then go back to the third point. You have to go up and down. Then services provided by way of labor contracts for repairing a single residential unit. So is it a outward supply or a inward supply? This is my outward supply because this is not, they've not used the word I have availed the services and I have taken the services. I am providing services, right? Be careful that your questions will be tricky like this. You have to be careful in selecting the right words. Services which I am providing. On this, there's no question of ITC because this is my outward supply, right? Whether it is single residential unit or anything, I will charge GST because there is no exemption on this. Correct? So I will charge GST on that 1 lakh rupees. What does the note 2 say? Service by way of pure labor contracts of construction, erection, commissioning, etc. Other than a part of are exempt. Labor contracts for repairing are thus taxable, wherein services by way of pure labor contracts will be taxable, but labor contracts for repairing are taxable. So this will be taxable. On what value? On 1 lakh rupees at 9%, 9% respectively. Yes, tax will be paid, correct. Okay, so we are talking on pure labor contract. So it'll be taxable. Then membership of a club, which is availed. So again, this is availed. So this will go to input tax credit. Membership of a club availed for employees working in the factory. We will go to the ITC and mention this, that membership of a club. And definitely we can mention that as per section 17, it's a block credit. So we will not get any credit for this. Okay. We'll go in the order, Nagaraja, whatever is given. So we don't miss out on any point. Membership of a club. Then GTA, Goods Transport Agency Services received from a GTA. Now, when we see this GTA, we have received it. So it will come into the input tax. GTA, input tax credit is available for the services received from the GTA as the same are used in the course or furtherance of business. Okay. So you can claim the credit. Even though he's charged 12%, he can claim it because the there is no restriction whether he charged 5% or 12%, whatever he charges, if he is charging, we can claim the credit. Okay. So this is not under reverse charge. It is under forward charge. Since he's charged, we claim the credit. Clear? GTA is covered. Then interstate services provided by way of training in sports. This is outward supply or inward supply. So that's the main confusion from this somewhat we get to know that we have to learn how to distinguish what is outward supply and what is inward supply. Navneet is saying this is outward. Yes. Somesh also is saying this is outward because this is services provided. So when I provide services of sports, is it taxable or exempt? Services provided by way of training in recreational activities relating to sports. I've given a note 3. Services by way of training in sports is exempt under GST only if the provider is a charitable entity. So only if it is provided by a charitable entity registered under section 12AA or 12AB, then it is taxable. But in this case, they have not said whether it is a charitable organization. So in the given case, it is a taxable supply. It is taxable on you of 10,000 rupees. It's an interstate. So 10,000 into 18%. That also you have to remember whether you have to put under intrastate CGST, SGST or IGST. We know it, but when we apply it, we have to be careful. By mistake, if we mention everything as C and S, then IGST will become zero. The answer may be wrong. Next is interstate security services provided to Bharat Higher Secondary School for their annual day function organized in common auditorium. So this will come under outward or inward firstly. Outward. Very good. Yes. Now first is yes, you have identified this is outward supply. Now is it exempted or taxable? Taxable, Lavanya. Why? Nagaraj is saying exempted. Somesh is saying taxable. In educational institution, services provided to an educational institution, we have seen no that security services is exempted. Why are you saying it is taxable, Navneet and things? Lokesh is saying exempted. Can you recall our discussion? Firstly, it's a outward supply. You're right that interstate security services provided to Bharat Higher Secondary School for their annual day function to be held in common auditorium. Right. Understood, sir. Mess to read security service. Okay. So you thought it is non-security service. It is security service. Now you tell me whether it is taxable or exempt. Navneet Somesh, why is it taxable? Right. Somesh is saying the correct answer that it is outside the school auditorium. So this will be taxable. Note 4 says that security services provided to Bharat Higher Secondary School for annual day function, which is organized outside the school campus, will be taxable. Why? Only the security services performed within the premises of the higher secondary school are exempted. This is very important. That is, any services of security services is exempted with the condition that the security service providing the services at the premises of the higher secondary school. But if it is outside the premises, then it will be taxable. So, interstate security services provided to Bharat for their annual day function, I have to charge GST. I do not get the exemption. So, this is my outward supply. All the points have been considered. Right. This one is still pending. Inputs to be received in 4 lots, out of which second lot has been received during the month. Can I claim the credit 20,000 partially then? No. Others, Navneet also saying no. Yes, most of you are saying no because this is the last part in ITC. Inputs to be received in 4 lots, but out of which second lot has been received during the month. In case of goods received in lots, ITC can be taken only upon receipt of the last lot. So I cannot claim any credit. Good. So my total ITC, I will add this up. That is including my opening balance. This is my credit which is available. So this is my outward and this is my inward. Now, what is the question asked that you have been given the output and input? Compute the minimum GST payable in cash. That is, out of this output, I can utilize this much of input. How much is the cash payable? Come on, you have to compute this and tell me. करेक्ट शगुफ्का परवीन लास्ट लॉट में आईटीसी क्लेम करते हैं हमको अभी सेकेंड मिला है तो हम क्रेडिट क्लेम नहीं कर सकते वेरी नाइस तो अभी आप बताइए आउटपुट का टैक्स लाइबिलिटी इतना है 45,000 सीजीएसटी 45,000 एसजीएसटी और आईजीएसटी 4,500 है और आईटीसी आपका आ रहा है इतना तो आप अभी बताइए कौन सा क्रेडिट क्लेम करेंगे ताकि आपका जो जीएसटी पेबल हो जितना कम हो सकता है मैक्सिमम उतना कम कीजिए What if in case of advance, it was not said that invoice for full 4 lakh was issued in February? Okay. Will GST for 1 lakh be paid in January? No, Kushi, because on advances, we don't pay GST. Okay. So if you receive advance for goods, no, you don't pay GST on the advance receipt. If it is services, only then you pay GST on advance receipt. But if they have specifically said it is goods and they have received advance for goods, so we don't pay GST on advance for goods. IGST 74,000 minus 4,500, देन 57,000। सर ये मुझे समझ नहीं आता है, या ही कौन सा समझना है? अच्छा, जो मैं क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा हूँ, वेरी गुड। ठीक है। तो आउटपुट टैक्स कितना है? फर्स्ट हम आउटपुट टैक्स नोट कर देंगे, क्योंकि उसमें तो कुछ है ही नहीं। तो जीएसटी पेएबल हो जाएगा फर्स्टली 45,000, 45,000 एंड 4,500। ठीक है। अभी आपको आईटीसी जीएसटी इतना पेएबल आ गया है। आईटीसी आपके पास है ये वाला 57,000 और 74,000। तो इस ये है सीजीएसटी, ये है एसजीएसटी और ये है आईजीएसटी। ठीक है। हमने इस मंथ में कुछ भी आईटीसी क्लेम नहीं किया, लेकिन ओपनिंग बैलेंस सिर्फ सीजीएसटी का है, एसजीएसटी का नहीं है। आईजीएसटी का 50,000 था और प्लस 24,000 होके 74,000 हो गया। सो सी है, ये एस है और ये आईजीएसटी है। तो फर्स्ट मैं कौन सा यूज करूंगा? आई विल फर्स्ट यूटिलाइज आईजीएसटी। आईजीएसटी का आई विल फर्स्ट आईटीसी ऑफ आईजीएसटी शुड बी यूटिलाइज्ड इन फुल फर्स्ट अगेंस्ट आईजीएसटी लाइबिलिटी। तो आईजीएसटी का लाइबिलिटी 4,500 है। तो फर्स्ट आई विल यूटिलाइज 4,500 रुपए फ्रॉम 74,000 रुपीज। ठीक है। फिर आईजीएसटी कितना बचता है? 74,000 माइनस 4,500। तो उसको मैं एसजीएसटी और सीजीएसटी में इक्वली भी डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर सकता हूं, या फिर 100% सीजीएसटी को और 100% बैलेंस एसजीएसटी को यूटिलाइज कर सकता हूं। लेकिन मैं क्या करूंगा यहाँ पे? आई विल यूटिलाइज फर्स्ट टुवर्ड्स एसजीएसटी। क्यों? क्योंकि सीजीएसटी का क्रेडिट पड़ा है ऑलरेडी। अगर मैं इसको पूरा आईजीएसटी बैलेंस यहाँ पे दे दूंगा, तो फिर एसजीएसटी को पूरा मेरे को कैश करना पड़ेगा, right? So what I will do is, second is I will utilize the IGST of 74,000 में I will utilize 45,000 here। तो 74,000 में 4,500 यहाँ पे चला गया और 45,000 यहाँ पे चला गया। बैलेंस जो बचता है मैं सीजीएसटी में यूटिलाइज कर लूंगा। और 74,000 में 4,500 चला गया, विच इज 69,500 माइनस 45,000 gives it as 24,500। So I will utilize in this order। क्लियर शबु, परवीन जी यहां पे तक? तो पूरा आईटीसी का मैंने खाली कर लिया है, करेक्ट। सो फर्स्ट आईटीसी, फर्स्ट आईजीएसटी का जितना हो सकता है उतना यूटिलाइज कर दीजिए। ओके। देन सीजीएसटी का क्रेडिट है 54,000, 57,000। अभी 45,000 लाइबिलिटी था, 24,000 मैंने यूटिलाइज कर दिया। बैलेंस कितना बचता है? 20,500। सो आउट ऑफ दिस 57,000 आई विल यूटिलाइज यहाँ पे 20,500। ठीक है। तो मिनिमम जीएसटी कितना बचेगा? मिनिमम जीएसटी पेएबल विल बी 45,000 माइनस 24,500 माइनस 20,500, निल। एसजीएसटी विल बी निल, आईजीएसटी विल बी निल। अब बैलेंस क्या बचता है मेरे पास? क्रेडिट। आईजीएसटी का क्रेडिट मैंने पूरा यूटिलाइज कर दिया है। सीजीएसटी का क्रेडिट मैंने 57,000 में से 20,500 यूटिलाइज कर लिया है। तो बैलेंस आईजीएसटी का क्रेडिट भी कैरी फॉरवर्ड हो जाएगा। ओके। 57,000 माइनस 20,500 विल बी 36,500। जो क्रेडिट है वो आप अगले महीने यूज कर सकते हो। क्लियर यहां तक? ये राइट नहीं है। कौन सा वाला नवनीत? नो CGST टू बी पेड, 12,000 ITC बचेगा, नो SGST टू बी पेड एंड नो IGST टू बी पेड एंड 24,500 ऑफ ITC बचेगा। नो, कैसे आया? फुल्ली 74,500 you have utilized, no? You have utilized IGST year and year.
Hello.
Yes, Navneet.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Sir, actually, what I did that I have ITC of 57,000 rupees of CGST. Okay.
Hmm.
So, firstly, I adjusted 57,000 to CGST itself and rest 12,000 जो कि मतलब बचा हुआ है मेरा, ऐसा नहीं कर
Hmm.
सकते?
नहीं, IGST, you have to first utilize IGST, then you can utilize CGST and SGST.
क्योंकि सर एट द एंड 36,500 मेरा आईटीसी बच रहा है, लेकिन 12,000 सीजीएसटी के लिए बच रहा है और 24,500 फॉर आईजीएसटी, जो कि मैंने आपको रिटर्न में भेजा हुआ था।
हम्म।
तो मतलब वो प्रॉपर नहीं है।
तो हाँ, वो प्रॉपर नहीं है। आपका IGST आपको फर्स्ट यूटिलाइज करना पड़ेगा, फिर आप CGST को यूटिलाइज कर सकते हो। फर्स्ट IGST को आपको पूरा यूटिलाइज करना है ही है। दैट इज द
ओके।
फ्लो।
दिस इज मतलब एक कॉमन रूल है कि
टोटली।
मतलब आई हैव टू यूटिलाइज
यस।
आईजीएसटी फर्स्ट, देन सीजीएसटी टू आईजीएसटी और
करेक्ट।
आईजीएसटी टू सीजीएसटी एसजीएसटी। ओके। एंड नो
करेक्ट।
सीजीएसटी टू एसजीएसटी और एसजीएसटी टू सीजीएसटी क्रॉस
करेक्ट।
कंपैरिजन।
करेक्ट।
ओके सर, थैंक यू।
So that's what I mentioned. First, ITC of IGST should be utilized in full. Okay. Then you can utilize ITC of CGST. Okay, let's go to the next question. You can read this question and start working out. Then I will give you the answer. So I'll take a break of 10 minutes and then we'll come back and solve this. But in the meantime, you can take a picture of this and start working out the answer for this. Okay. So we'll proceed with the next question, question number two. So what is the answer? This is the question which I had asked before the break. Anybody solve the answer? GST payable nil. Okay. Lavanya is saying GST is payable nil. ITC available CGST 15,850, HGST 1850. Okay. Very good. Others. Okay. Looks like others are not worked out. We'll work out together then. ABC Company is a chartered accountancy firm, has its office in Bangalore. It is registered under GST in the state of Karnataka. In the month of April, it supplied statutory audit fees to Dhruv manufacturers of Karnataka for 1,20,000 rupees, very less. The fees is very less for statutory audit, just 1,20,000. Might be they have very few little operations, but for a statutory audit, you should charge at least 1,50,000 rupees because it takes so much of time, it takes so much of efforts and a lot of risk for a chartered accountancy. But okay, might be here the thing is less. But good news is it further charged 1,60,000 for its ITR filing services provided to the recipients located within Karnataka in the said month. So it's not to brew manufacturers, but to others they've charged 1,60,000 rupees. That is also very less. It also received 1,80,000 for internal audit services provided to a client registered in Mumbai. All the amounts are exclusive of GST. Now, Messrs. ABC and Company has also provided following information regarding the expenses which is incurred in the month of April for the purpose of providing taxable services. It has membership fees of a club paid for a senior partner of the firm, rent paid to the landlord who is registered in the state of Karnataka for office located in Karnataka. Refer note below. The note says landlord did not upload his GSTR1 within the prescribed time, resulting in the GST amount not reflecting in GSTR2B of Messrs. ABC and Co. Other other suppliers have duly uploaded their GSTR1 within the prescribed time and GST amount is reflected in the GSTR2B. So no claim for rent. Correct, Navneet? Then professional fees paid to Mr. Jamna Prasad, a practicing chartered account for professional services availed. TDS of 20,000 is deducted and CGST, SGST is 18,000 each. Air conditioner purchase for office purpose is 3,000, 3,000. Okay. So now calculate, what is the question? Compute the net GST payable for the month of April. Rates of GST has been given because rates we don't have to remember. There could be different rates. So for the inter, you don't have to remember the GST rates. They will give it in the exam itself. First, outward supply will calculate, then the inward supply. Statutory audit, it provided for 1,20,000 rupees. So intra-state statutory audit because the customer is also within the same state. So 1,20,000 rupees. Once you mention the value, then it becomes easy to calculate. So you can have a column. So when you do the working out, you have to have proper columns. Have proper columns so that it becomes clear. 1,20,000 rupees. Then, and whenever you write any notes, give ample space for the tables so that if any additions, if any corrections you want to make, you don't, it will not be a situation where you write the notes first and then the table. It should be table first and then the notes. But when you're working out, sometimes some confusion may happen. You may strike off the table. So below the table also, there should be ample space to write the second table. Okay. So they provided intra-state statutory audit 1,20,000 rupees. Fine. So CGST and SGST. Income tax filing they have done. ITR filing. ITR filing they have done for 1,60,000 rupees. Class. 1,60,000 for ITR filing within the same state. So again, CGST and SGST. Intrastate ITR filing fees, which is 1,60,000 rupees on that 9% each again. Then internal audit is to a client in Mumbai. So location is Mumbai, so it will be IGST. Value of the service is 1,80,000 rupees and 32,400 on that 18% is the IGST value. Perfect. So your total output tax liability is what we add up. 32,400 IGST, CGST and SGST is 25,200. Okay. NES ITC. Now, how do you calculate the ITC? First, let us calculate the ITC and then we'll see how do we utilize it. Oh, working notes. So 1 minute. ITC is goofed up. One minute. Did you calculate the ITC? Okay, ITC has been worked out. You're getting 21,000 each of CGST and SGST and IGST of 32,400. Okay. Okay, let us check quickly then. So the ITC is membership fees paid to a club, 2,000 rupees each. Is that credit available? It is a block credit, so credit is not available. Second is that office rent. This is a credit available, but it is not reflecting in 2B. So this also will not be available. Office rent is credit not available. Third is professional fees paid, right? We have deducted TDS and things like that. That is the normal GST income tax procedure. But from the GST perspective, we will get the credit of 18,000 each. No doubts in that. And air conditioner of 3,000 rupees each CGST and SGST. That credit is available. Yes, that credit is available because it's a office purpose and then it is credit is available. So your total IPC available is 21,000 each. IGST is not there, Miss Kushi. Second available used for business, that is office rent. Yes, it is available. But you have other conditions also, Mr. Nagraja, that supplier should have uploaded. He is not uploaded. Oh, Kushi, you meant on payable. Okay. Fine. So my credit is 21,000 each. IGST 32,400. I don't have any IGST payable, but I have CGST. So CGST credit is set off against CGST liability and then with SGST and SGST credit is set off with SGST liability, because IGST credit we do not have anything. So we cannot utilize the IGST. We have credit of only CGST and SGST. Opening balance, there's nothing. So if they have not given anything, so we will assume that opening balance is zero. So CGST credit we have. So we will utilize the credit against the CGST liability first. So credit of 21,000 you will utilize fully year first, and SGST credit also we will utilize fully year. So there is nothing to be utilized, any balance available to utilize IGST. So you reduce 25,200 minus 21,000. Your balance payable is 4,200 each of C and S, and 32,400 is your output tax payable of IGST. Your answer is right, Kushi. सर ऑडिट सर्विस प्रोवाइड करने में जीएसटी लगेगा क्या? ऑफ कोर्स लगेगा, क्योंकि ऑडिट सर्विस ऐसा कोई चैरिटेबल सर्विस नहीं है जिसके ऊपर एग्जेम्पशन मिला है, राइट, या फिर स्पेसिफिक कैटेगरी एग्जेम्पशन नहीं है, तो ऑडिट प्रोवाइड करने पे जीएसटी तो लगेगा. क्लियर है ये? Third question is on the similar lines, so we'll take it up at the end because it is kind of understood question. We'll go to question number 4. Miss Shreya. यस, जीएसटी 50 मार्क्स का आएगा एंड एमसीक्यू. यस, एमसीक्यू को मिला के 50 मार्क्स है. Can others answer the question? Let's put it on the group. So if there's anything, because I'm not aware of the marks. Oops. Fifty marks. Okay, clear. So 50 marks including MCQ, right, Lokesh? Question number 4. Miss Shreya is a proprietor of Mrs. Happy Enterprise, a registered supplier of taxable goods and services in the state of West Bengal, pays GST under regular scheme. It is not eligible for any MCQ 15 marks and descriptive 35 marks. Very good. So clear हो गया. MCQ will be 15 marks, Navneet, and descriptive will be 35 marks. He pays GST under regular scheme, not under composition scheme. It is not eligible for any threshold exemption. It provided the following information for the month of December 2024. Okay. Outward supplies, intrastate supply of goods to Messrs. Reliable and Sons. Intrastate transfer of goods to its branch office, permanent transfer of old computers to orphanage home without consideration. Input tax credit was not availed on the same. Advance received for future supply of management consultancy services, intrastate 40,000. Then inward supplies is 8 lakhs, purchase of taxable goods from registered suppliers. Availed works contract service for repair of office building. Amount of repair was debited in P&L account. Availed legal services from an advocate to represent the matter. But this is the rates of change for goods, 2.5% each, and supplier services, 9% each. Both inward are exclusive of taxes. All the conditions are availing the ITC has been availed. So GSTR 2B, nothing has been specified. So assume that there is specifically said that all the conditions have been met, no assumption. The aggregate turnover in the preceding financial exceeded the threshold limit for registration, and working note should form part of the answer. Okay. Okay. Nagaraj is saying second is not taxable, third is also not taxable, fourth is taxable. Okay. Let's go one by one. GST payable under forward charge. We have GST payable under forward charge and reverse charge here. So we have to give separate bifurcation. Intrastate supply of goods to Messrs. Reliable and Sons. Taxable. No doubt on this. 7 lakhs on that 2.5%, 2.5% each. Generally, we take 9%, but here for goods, they have said it is 2.5%. Be careful. For intrastate branch transfer to its branch office in the state of West Bengal, both places are registered under same GSTN. Whether this is taxable or no. First is outward supply. Yes, the heading itself, they're given outward supply. No. If they don't give outward supply, then there's a confusion. The heading itself, they've said outward supply. Second one, Somesh and Lavanya are saying no GST payable. Why so? Not taxable. Why? Same state with same GST. Correct. Not taxable since registered under same GST and therefore there is no distinct person. Very good. Stock, there will come as a value, but GST will not charge anything. Such transfer is not a supply as the branch has the same GSTN number as that at our head office and thus it is not a distinct person. Very good. Third, permanent transfer of old computer to orphanage home without consideration and input tax credit has not been availed on the same. Three, no GST. Why no GST? Schedule 1, it says no, any disposal of assets also is liable to GST. So this is a disposal. Permanent transfer or disposal without consideration is tiable. Input tax credit was not used. No consideration. Sir, no consideration still liable, sir, under Schedule 1 specifically, Mr. Nagaraja, it says when you make any supply without consideration, right? But if it is coming under Schedule 1, then it becomes taxable. Because it is transferred to orphanage without consideration, hence no GST. Location, no. Location, Nagaraj, don't get confused. It is without consideration, but we know in the ITC that some supplies, right, which are Section 7 itself, when supply is made without consideration, will become taxable when there are four instances. That is, one of them is this permanent transfer or disposal of assets. No furtherance of business. There's no question of no furtherance of business. Read Schedule 1. That is when we are dealing with ITC, but interlinkage of supplier also is important. In supply, it says that when you supply something without consideration, right? When you're disposing it off, then it is still liable. This is an asset. Old computer is an asset. So it will be taxable. But the condition also says that you should have claimed the input tax credit. In this case, ITC was not availed. So then the answer will change that even though it is taxable, but ITC is not availed. ITC was not availed. If you have availed the ITC, then you can claim the credit. In this case, ITC was not availed. That's why it is not payable. Okay, don't give the reason that there is no consideration. Then your answer will still be wrong. You may mention zero in the taxable, but it will still be wrong because what you have to do is you have to give the correct reasoning. which means you should read the correct provision, right? So it becomes still zero in this case because ITC has not been availed. ऑर्फनेज में परमानेंट सप्लाई किया है तो समझा नहीं परवीन आपका क्वेश्चन। ऑर्फनेज में परमानेंट सप्लाई किया लेकिन कंसिडरेशन नहीं लिया है। तो नॉर्मल सप्लाई में क्या होता है, कंसिडरेशन होता है तब जीएसटी पेबल होता है। इसमें सप्लाई किया है, कंसिडरेशन नहीं लिया है, ठीक है। तो हमने सप्लाई किया है लेकिन कंसिडरेशन नहीं लिया है, फिर भी टैक्सेबल हो जाएगा जब हम परमानेंट ट्रांसफर करते हैं। इसमें परमानेंट ट्रांसफर है लेकिन सेकेंड कंडीशन, उसमें कंडीशन बोलता है कि आप जो असेट लिए हो उसके ऊपर आपको क्रेडिट क्लेम करना होगा। तो अगर आपने क्रेडिट क्लेम किया है और अभी डिस्पोज करते हो तो फिर टैक्स पे करने को मांगता है। लेकिन इसमें क्वेश्चन में दिया है कि आईटीसी वॉज नॉट अवेल, लेकिन अगर मैं आईटीसी अवेल नहीं कर रहा हूं अभी और अभी डिस्पोज कर रहा हूं, फिर भी उसके ऊपर जीएसटी भरने को नहीं होगा क्योंकि मैंने आईटीसी क्लेम नहीं किया है। अगर आईटीसी क्लेम किया होता तो जीएसटी पेएबल होता। आईटीसी में क्लेम ही नहीं किया और मैं अभी डिस्पोज कर रहा हूं तो मुझे जीएसटी पेएबल नहीं आएगा, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट, एडवांस रिसीट फॉर फ्यूचर सप्लाई ऑफ मैनेजमेंट कंसल्टेंसी सर्विसेज। दिस विल बी टैक्सेबल और नो? एडवांस, advance for services more than 1000, therefore taxable, correct Kushi? Correct. So this will be taxable because this is services. Goods में हमने exception देख लिया है, यहाँ पे services है। Advance receipt for future intrastate supply of management consultancy services. In case of supply or services, tax is payable at the time of receipt of the advance too. ठीक है, तो 40,000 के ऊपर 9%, 9% आएगा। टोटल आउटपुट टैक्स कितना है? टोटल ऑफ दिस 17,500 प्लस 3,600, बस इतना ही है। 21,100 each. नाउ हाउ मच इज द आईटीसी यूटिलाइज? लेकिन यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन में एक और बात है, दैट फोर्थ वन, यस यू आर राइट, फोर्थ वन इज टैक्सेबल। इनवर्ट सप्लाईज हम आईटीसी के लिए जाएंगे, लेकिन यहाँ पे एक लीगल सर्विस है। लीगल सर्विस पे क्या है स्पेशलाइजेशन, दैट ये आरसीएम पेएबल है। सो व्हाई हैव वी नॉट इंक्लूडेड अंडर आउटपुट टैक्स पेएबल? देन वी शुड हैव इंक्लूडेड, नो? करेक्ट नवनीत, नो आरसीएम है तो फिर इसको मैंने आउटपुट टैक्स पेएबल में ऐड क्यों नहीं किया? आईटीसी मिलेगा फाइन, बट स्टिल others, Navneet, your answer is correct. Others we will ask them. You should add it on net GST payable. Why बाबा? Why लोकेश? Why? क्योंकि ग्रॉस में भी ऐड करना है तो आपको तो जीएसटी पे करना है, तो फिर आप ऐड क्यों नहीं कर सकते हो? मिस लावण्या, outward GST payable is reduced by ITC available, but RCM is always to be paid in cash and therefore claim the credit. Correct, Kushi. So here in our GST payable under forward charge, we have considered total output tax and ITC you will utilize. But on RCM, we cannot utilize the ITC. That's why it is shown separately. Okay. Now ITC utilized, how will we know? By having a working for that, right? Now, how much is the ITC available? It is easy here. Purchase of taxable goods from registered person. This is intra-state. तो मतलब क्या होगा? 8 लाख के ऊपर goods है. So 8 lakh के ऊपर 2.5% CGST, 2.5% SGST. Intra-state purchase of taxable goods value is 8 lakhs. 8 lakhs के ऊपर 2.5% each. Next, works contract service. Availed works contract service for repair of office building. Amount of repair was debited to P&L account. Not eligible. No ITC. Works contract for repair. Therefore, ITC available. Right. Works contract when it is for capital use, that restriction under section 17, which is a block credit. Works contract service देखते ही आप block ऐसे मत करो. Okay. I will give the explanation here. जहाँ पे clearly लिखा हुआ है. Works contract service ITC is available since the repair amount is debited to P&L account and not capitalized in the books of account. If it is capitalized in the books of account, then we will not claim the credit. But if it is expensed off, because under works contract, they use works contract which is capitalized. Only that we have to be very careful. Works contract, dekhte hi, we will say it is block credit, but works contract which is capitalized only is blocked. Works contract which is expensed off, which is used in the day-to-day activities, repair services, that is not blocked, that is allowed as a input tax credit. Okay. Provision confusing. Which provision? See, works contract is very simple. Works contract, when you capitalized, it is blocked. Works contract, when it is not capitalized, when it's expensed, it is not blocked. Let me show you the provision of works contract services, then it will be clear for you. See the slide on that works contract. It says that what is a works contract service? Okay. And there are exceptions when if it is an input service for further supply of works contract, then it is not a block credit. When a builder buys a works contract services and gives a works contract, then it is not blocked because he's into that business itself. Second is if that immovable property is a plant and machinery, because plant and machinery you will be using for your office purposes, so that will be allowed. So immovable property of resulting in a plant and machinery also is not a block credit. And the third exception is ITC in respect of construction services, which is not capitalized. whether for immovable property or plant and machinery is allowed, which means routine construction related services like repairs, maintenance, renovation, etc. of office and factory building is not a block credit. Okay, so immovable property is blocked if it is works contract services related to building and you're capitalizing it. ठीक है, अगर आप उसको फिक्स्ड एसेट्स में लेते हो देन इट्स अ ब्लॉक क्रेडिट, लेकिन आप जो भी वर्क्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ले रहे हो उसको आप एक्सपेंस ऑफ कर लेते हो तब वो ब्लॉक क्रेडिट में नहीं माना जाएगा। आप उस पर क्रेडिट को ब्लॉक मत कीजिए। हाँ, आई विल अपलोड दिस प्रॉब्लम्स, बट सिद्ध, आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग इट? मोर इम्पोर्टेंट देन अपलोडिंग इट, नॉट सीइंग एनी आंसर्स फ्रॉम यू। ठीक है, परवीन आपको समझ में आ गया? आपके लिए ये स्लाइड मैंने बताया है। ये किसी प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन का नहीं है शफगुना, ये वर्किंग आउट के लिए है। ऐसा सिमिलर पुराने में आया रहेगा, बट दिस इज नॉट पिक्ड अप फ्रॉम एनी ऑफ द प्रीवियस क्वेश्चंस। ठीक है, आईटीसी फिर इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है, ये हमारा क्लियर हो गया। राइट, नेक्स्ट है लीगल सर्विसेज। He has availed legal service from an advocate to represent the matter in a court relating to collection of disputed proceeds from customers 50,000। तो बिजनेस के लिए यूज किया है, तो इसके ऊपर ही हैज टू पे रिवर्स चार्ज एंड ही कैन क्लेम द क्रेडिट ऑल्सो। तो जब हम आईटीसी क्रेडिट का बोल रहे हैं वी विल इंक्लूड इट। ओके, वी विल इंक्लूड इट बिकॉज इन दिस मंथ रिटर्न ओनली ही इज पेइंग, सो यू कैन क्लेम इट इन द सेम मंथ। ऐसा नहीं कि इस मंथ पे यू हैव टू पे आरसीएम एंड क्लेम इट इन द नेक्स्ट मंथ, ऐसा लॉट ऑफ कंफ्यूजन है, डोंट गेट कंफ्यूज्ड। आरसीएम you can claim it in this month's return and pay it in the same month's return itself. Okay, so legal services avail 50,000 on the 9% each. That will give you the total credit. करेक्ट नवनीत, पहले कैश में पे करेंगे देन क्रेडिट लेक्चर पे आईटीसी क्लेम करेंगे? नहीं, फर्स्ट क्रेडिट यूटिलाइज करके जो भी बैलेंस है वो कैश में पे करेंगे। ओके, सो यू हैव यूटिलाइज द दिस आईटीसी में ऐड हो गया है। नाउ हाउ मच ऑफ आईटीसी वी कैन यूटिलाइज? वी कैन यूटिलाइज 21,200 है, और 27,200 आईटीसी है, तो मैं पूरा आईटीसी यूटिलाइज कर दूंगा। करेक्ट, बिकॉज मेरा आउटपुट टैक्स कम है, आईटीसी ज्यादा है। सो आई हैव यूटिलाइज्ड आईटीसी 27,200 में 21,100, सो नेट जीएसटी पेबल विल बी जीरो। सो आईटीसी यूटिलाइज effectively is 27,200 में से 21,100 only, not 27,200 fully, because you cannot utilize more than what is payable. So I've utilized out of 27,200, I've utilized ITC of 21,100 each. आईटीसी बचेगा, करेक्ट। तो मैं यहाँ पे यूज कर सकता हूँ? नहीं यूज कर सकता हूँ, बिकॉज लीगल सर्विसेज का जो है टैक्स ऑन लीगल सर्विसेज अवेल्ड बाय बिजनेस एंटिटी फ्रॉम एन एडवोकेट इज पेएबल अंडर रिवर्स चार्ज एंड इट हैज टू बी पेड इन कैश ओनली। जो 50,000 है, further the tax payable under reverse charge cannot be set off against ITC, and thus reverse charge has to be paid in cash, since the tax payable under reverse charge is not an output tax. तो आपको यूटिलाइज करके आईटीसी भी बचेगा, and this 4,500 has to be paid in cash only. So your maximum net GST payable in cash is this 4,500 each. क्लियर है यहाँ तक? ITC is there fully you will utilize? No, you can utilize only for forward charge cases. For RCM cases, you cannot utilize. Okay. Now let's go back to ITC was not availed on the same. Yeah, this is the important condition what I was saying. Hmm. Yeah, now we'll go to question number 3 back. Now it will be easier. सर आरसीएम में आईटीसी अवेल नहीं है? आरसीएम में आईटीसी अवेल है ना, इसीलिए लीगल सर्विसेज पे जो हमने पे किया है उसका हमने क्रेडिट क्लेम किया। यहाँ पे लीगल सर्विसेज है और हमने आईटीसी में भी क्लेम किया है। लीगल सर्विसेज जो भी हम या जो भी आरसीएम है उसके ऊपर भी हमको क्रेडिट मिलता है, लेकिन आरसीएम जो पे करना होता है उसके लिए आप आईटीसी यूटिलाइज नहीं कर सकते हैं। सिर्फ जीएसटी लायबिलिटीज रिमेन, देन वी ऐड विद दैट। यस, if there was say here in this case it is nil, so if say there is some 5,000, so we add 5,000 plus 4,500. Okay, question number 3. Vishwanath, a registered supplier in Karnataka, has provided the following explanation. For the provide the following details for supply of one machine. एक मशीन के लिए इन्हें ये डिटेल्स दिए हैं। क्या डिटेल्स दिए हैं? List price of the machine supplied, which is exclusive of items given below. Okay, which is 80,000 rupees. Tax levied by local authority on sale of such machine is 6,000 rupees. Then discount of 2% on list price of machine was provided, and packing expenses for transportation is charged separately in the invoice of 4,000 rupees. Vishwanathan has received 5,000 rupees as price link subsidy from an NGO on sale of each such machine. The price of 80,000 of the machine is after considering such subsidy. Okay. During the month of February, Vishwanath Limited supplied three machines to intrastate customers and one machine to interstate customer. बस इतना ही है. Vishwanathan purchased inputs for 1,20,000 exclusive of GST for supplying the above four machines. The balance in ITC at the beginning is this much. Now compute the minimum net GST payable. Come on, इसके ऊपर आप कैलकुलेट करके बोलो भाई. ये वैल्यूएशन, आउटपुट टैक्स, आईटीसी सभी का मिक्स वाला क्वेश्चन है ये. सर एक बार आरसीएम वाला कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर कर दीजिए कि सेम मंथ में पे भी होगा एंड आईटीसी भी क्लेम करेंगे. करेक्ट. तो आपको आईटीसी जब कैलकुलेट करते हो तब आरसीएम का आईटीसी इंक्लूड करना है और आउटपुट पेएबल में भी उसे इंक्लूड करना है. दो जगह उसे इंक्लूड करना है. मींस जीएसटी या 3B में आईटीसी में मैन्युअल क्लेम करेंगे और आउटवर्ड लायबिलिटी में कैश लेजर पे पे करेंगे. आईटीसी में मैन्युअल, आईटीसी में 3B में जो है ना, रिवर्स चार्ज पेबल अलग ही कॉलम आता है. उसमें हम लिखते हैं दैट दिस इज द जीएसटी पेबल. एंड आईटीसी में भी अलग ही कॉलम आता है कि आईटीसी में व्हाट इज द आईटीसी क्लेम ऑन रिवर्स चार्ज, अलग कॉलम आता है. लेकिन अपने वर्किंग्स के लिए व्हाट यू आर सेइंग इज राइट कि मैन्युअली ऐड करना पड़ेगा. 3 इंट्रास्टेट एंड 1 इंटरस्टेट. यस, इसमें yes, 3 intrastate and 1 interstate, right? आरसीएम का लिए अलग कॉलम आता है. यस. NGO subsidy not to be deducted. Very good. Lavanya saying 80,000%, add 6,000, add 4,000. Value of the machine is 88,400. CGST, SGST payable. Okay, Kushi have gone to that extent. Very good. Transaction value is 88,400. Okay, let us see. So first we have to see the transaction value. List price of the machinery is 80,000 rupees. Add levy by the local authorities, which we will add because any taxes, okay, दूसरे लोग भी ध्यान से सुन लो. दैट अदर लेवीज, अदर टैक्सेस अदर देन सीजीएसटी एसजीएसटी जो भी चार्ज करते हैं उसे हमको ऐड करना है। तो लोकल अथॉरिटी ने हर मशीन बेचते हो तो एक आपको टैक्स ऐड करना है, तो उसको हम ट्रांजैक्शन वैल्यू में ऐड करते हैं। देन पैकिंग एक्सपेंसेस, करेक्ट, पैकिंग एक्सपेंसेस को भी हमको ऐड करना है। सो अभी सब्सिडी, हमको सब्सिडी मिला है 5,000 रुपीज प्राइस लिंक सब्सिडी मिला है, एंड द प्राइस ऑफ 80,000 इज आफ्टर कंसिडरिंग, मतलब सब्सिडी कंसीडर करके मैं 80 पे दे रहा हूं, वरना मेरा प्राइस क्या है 85,000। तो मुझे ये 5,000 रुपीज जो है ऐड करना है, बिकॉज इट्स अ प्राइस लिंक सब्सिडी गिवन बाय अ एनजीओ। अगर प्राइस लिंक सब्सिडी बाय अ गवर्नमेंट होता है तो देन आई वुड नॉट हैव एडेड, बट दिस इज अ एनजीओ, सो आई हैव टू ऐड दिस। क्लियर? तो टोटल यहां तक कितना होता है, टोटल इज 95,000 टिल ईयर। इसमें रिडक्शन होगा क्योंकि डिस्काउंट दे रहे हैं। कितना डिस्काउंट दे रहे हैं यहाँ पे, डिस्काउंट ऑफ 2% ऑन द लिस्ट प्राइस। सो आई विल टेक 95,000 माइनस 2%। नहीं, आई विल टेक डिस्काउंट ऑफ 2% ऑन 80,000 रुपीज। ऐसा क्यों? क्योंकि यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है डिस्काउंट ऑफ 2% ऑन द लिस्ट प्राइस, और लिस्ट प्राइस तो फिक्स्ड है, वो चेंज नहीं होता है। लिस्ट प्राइस इज 80,000 रुपीज, तो मैं डिस्काउंट दूंगा 2% ऑन 80,000। मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम दिस इज अ डेंजर जोन कि आई विल टेक 2% डिस्काउंट ऑन 95,000, ऐसा मत करना। इट इज ऑन द लिस्ट प्राइस, इफ दे जस्ट मेंशन डिस्काउंट गिवन देन यू कैन टेक ऑन 95,000 रुपीज, बट हियर दे हैव गिवन डिस्काउंट इज ऑन द लिस्ट प्राइस, तो अपना जो लिस्ट प्राइस है 80,000 उसके ऊपर ही हम डिडक्ट करेंगे। And it is deductible because it is mentioned in the terms of the invoice and recorded in the invoice. That is another condition. Okay. So after discount, it is 93,400. Now, what is the GST payable? This you can calculate very easily, right? Right? Sale of machinery interest. So we got the transaction value. On the transaction value into number of machines, and CGST, SGST how much, and IGST how much. Simple. So this is my total output tax. Now set off of input tax के लिए I have to calculate what is the ITC available. There is opening balance of ITC which is given in the question, 18,000, 4,000, and 26,000. Right? This is the ITC which is available. And current month, how much is my ITC? Inputs purchased during the month. They have given only one line, so you don't have to break too much of head. Purchased inputs of 1,20,000 exclusive of GST, which is intrastate. So 1,20,000 into 9% each. 10,800. So total ITC available will be opening plus current month ITC purchase. right? So how will I utilize this IGST? First, IGST credit, IGST of 26,000 rupees, utilize first year, same in the same manner what we have discussed previously. That 16,000 utilize completely here. Balance, if any, you can utilize again C and S, but I will utilize against S because C में credit ज्यादा है. तो I can utilize C. जहां पे credit कम होता है, there I have to utilize. I will utilize the balance with SGST. फिर CGST का credit I will utilize here 25,218 because payable ही इतना है. And SGST का credit I will utilize completely here. Then net GST payable in cash will be the balance amount. 9188 to SGST, no. Utilization, right. So balance payable is just 1,230 rupees. That's all. Balance ITC 3528. Correct, Navneet. Clear this ITC utilization now we have understood. No, clearly we have seen three examples now. IGST first utilize balance pay against C and S, but the thumb rule will be that whichever credit is less, we will utilize against that. इसमें CGST में credit कम था. I know cash payable will come. That's why I utilize this against this. I can utilize here also. This one also is permissible. ओके ऐसा नहीं कि सीजीएस आईजीएसटी का क्रेडिट मुझे सी या एस के साथ ही यूटिलाइज करना. आई कैन यूटिलाइज 50-50 और इन एनी प्रोपोर्शन, नो प्रॉब्लम. यहाँ पे बेस्ट एसजीएसटी से ही है. करेक्ट. Whenever I read question, I'm confused whether inward or outward. Simple, Somesh, when they say it, they have supplied, this person has supplied, it's a outward supply. When they say availed or utilized, it's a input tax. That's the inward supply. So utilization का extra marks मिलेगा और कटेगा if not done wisely. If not done wisely, then कटेगा. Extra marks नहीं मिलेगा. Normal marks मिलेगा. अगर सही नहीं करते हो तो कटेगा marks. Perfect. So good that ITC के questions we have taken and we have done a complete revision of the chapter through the problems. We shall do it. So why 5,000 added? Which 5,000, Baba? NGO wala. Okay, in the valuation. Because it's a information which is given that they have received 5,000 as price link subsidy from an NGO. So when you supply something, if you're getting any consideration from anybody, I supply something to you and you say you will pay me 1,000 rupees and your brother will pay me 20 rupees. So what is my consideration? 100 from you and 20 rupees from your brother. Total consideration is 120 rupees. Correct? Now you have paid 100, so my consideration is not 100. I will not pay GST on 100. I will pay GST on 100. And if anybody else is paid the consideration on your behalf, that also is my consideration itself. That is my value of supply. I wanted 120 rupees for the shoe, what I'm selling it to you. You said I have 100. Your brother said, okay, you sell it to him. I will pay you 20 rupees. So for me, sale value is 121, right? Similarly, here also, when I'm selling a machinery, NGO is saying, okay, reduce the price by 5,000. I will pay you. So whether the customer pays or NGO pays, it is a value for me. So that's why I am adding it to the transaction value. Fine. Any more questions? Okay. Fine. Then. See you in the next LVRC. Thank you very much. Good night. Yes, sir. हाँ सर एंड कर